It's time to feel the rage. Welcome to Film Rage, where we talk movies. The endless streaming continues for the 12th week in a row. Jacob Barner of Leeds, England took 12 weeks to attend NFL games in all 32 stadiums. That just happens to be a world record. This bested the previous record of 12 weeks and 2 days. Nice job, Mr. Barner. But let's get back to business. Directors and actors beware, as you cannot hide from the rage. My name is Bryce, and I'm part of the Film Rage crew, which also includes Jim.
Hey, hey!
Hello, Jim. So, with the introductions out of the way, let's rage on!
Okay, well, another fabulous week in the beautiful city of Calgary, where we hit, I believe, a high of somewhere around 24 Celsius for our American listeners, which is something Fahrenheit. I don't know.
That is something Fahrenheit.
This week, we're going to do some streaming. We're going to talk about the lists. We've got the 13th annual Quick Draw Animation Society's animation lockdown to talk about. We got Open Rage, Rage or Dare, and then we pull our ears, and then it's time for us to say so long. All right, let's dance. Streaming, motherfucking streaming. We like to stream, Bryce.
Yep, sure do.
Let's talk.
Let's do that.
About the streaming.
Yeah, what are we opening with?
We're going to talk about The Vast of Night.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, you did. You told me to see it. Are you glad you did?
This was my suggestion for the week.
It was your suggestion.
I said if we stream anything, please let us stream The Vast of Night. And I was absolutely super pleased that we did.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. So, The Vast of Night 2019, but really kind of 2020. I guess it hit some festivals last year, apparently. But didn't make it to,
anyone's around us.
Yeah, didn't find us till 2020. So yeah, that's when. So I'm saying 2020 release. Anyways, it's set in a small town in New Mexico in the 1950s. A switchboard operator and a radio DJ investigate some strange occurrences. I loved this movie.
I thought you might.
The opening sequence ranks up there with my favorite openings of any movie. The way we get to know our main characters, Everett and Faye, by first observing them from afar and then gradually having the camera move in, was genius. When we finally got up close and personal with our lead characters, it seemed to mean so much. As these people we had only seen from a distance were now in our lives in an intimate way. This movie takes its time and lets every scene breathe. There is a tension throughout that builds slowly. The actors and their delivery of the dialogue was tremendous. The technical prowess of the filmmakers is on full display throughout, with the extended tracking shots and the perfect lighting, as well as every angle and shot impeccably executed. This is a pretty movie to look at. It has been a long time since I've seen a period piece that has completely sucked me into that time and place. Like this movie did. It absolutely dripped with atmosphere. This movie was darn near flawless, and I guarantee it will be on my best movies of 2020 list. Mondo.
So just a Mondo? Not like
it's like
super 1950s Mondo?
It's a super 1950s Mondo if ever there was one.
Like a Back to the Future kind of.
It was so much better
kissing your mom kind of.
Well, Back
Mondo?
to the Future is like nowhere as good a sci-fi movie as this. Back to the Future. I love Back to the Future.
But not as good as this.
I absolutely adored this movie.
Wow. First off, that doesn't surprise me in the least. This has a lot of the things that you have on your 11
How much
list.
walking was there
I
in the
know.
first 10
There was so
minutes?
much motherfucking walking.
It was awesome.
Well, let me give you my spin on it.
All right. Let's hear it.
So before I say my piece, do you think I'm in the same boat as you, or are we going to have a disagreement on this one?
The way that you're presenting it seems like we might be button heads on this one, but I don't know how you could not love this movie.
Okay, well, let's find out.
Yeah, let's find out, because it was tremendous. Like, the acting was tremendous. The direction was tremendous. There was nothing about this movie that wasn't great.
Yeah, there's a few things. So let me tell you what they are. So first off, this started as the slowest, most boring film I've seen in a long time.
Are you freaking kidding me?
No, I'm not. So much nothing and dialogue that was pretty much also boring as fuck.
Not at all.
Just wanting anything to happen for the first little while. But the transition between locations was done really, really well. The edits were super cool, as was some of the ways that they pulled you in and out of scenes. I thought that was done very, very well.
Great filmmakers.
Yes, I can't wait to see more by these guys for sure. This could have been a play or even a radio play. Like, I could imagine hearing this as a radio play.
Yeah, I could see that.
And it was very unique film.
It was very War of the Worlds-ish, really.
Yeah, a little bit like that. Yeah. I actually felt that from it. Unique film style, but very, really, really slow. And I think the difference between you and me on this, I did like this film, just so you know, but I couldn't get it to Armando, and I'll explain a little bit more.
All right, go ahead.
As it is first off, as it is a period piece,
and a period piece that could not take place at any other time.
It's true. I agree with you. It was, but because it's a period piece, it has a high road to get me to love it, and there was things I did halfway through, and I'm not in love with it. I'm not in love with it. At the middle waypoint, I looked at the time on that. I paused it for a second, maybe to freshen up my tea, or maybe powder my nose, if you know what I'm saying. Wink, wink.
I couldn't look away.
Yeah, I'm sure you couldn't. There's just, for me, there just was not. There wasn't enough suspense and interest in it to keep me interested in the film, but I did love the direction. I thought it was very uniquely shot. I thought this would have probably played better to an audience in the 50s, similar to War of the Worlds, who didn't necessarily have a lot of options for films to see back then. It was a good ending. I thought it was actually a really good ending, and a good spin on the War of the Worlds is what I had said.
There you go.
I just could not get it to Armando because of... It took me a long time to get to the point where I loved the movie. So I didn't love the whole movie. I loved a lot of things about it, but I just couldn't get into there was just too much slow for me.
I can't believe the opening sequence was the best part of the movie, where he's just walking through the gym. Yeah,
I like the style of direction for that. But
he ends up underneath the bleachers there, like, no, we didn't want you. We wanted the other guy. And he's like, all right. And then he takes off, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, there was some good parts. It was too slow at parts where I think they could have added...
He steals the guy's trombone and then just puts it in a closet.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
Yeah, he did.
I was giggling through the whole thing.
Yeah, there was some giggling. But then there was a lot of... there was just a lot of stuff that I felt that they could have added more to build more of the suspense. That didn't have enough kick for me.
This was just spot on. This was like almost a perfect movie.
It was written for you. I know that. When I was watching it, I'm going, I know you're going to love this movie. And I liked it a lot. I didn't love it. I think people should see it just for an experiment in this amazing filmmakers, the way they look at film. It's very unique. Very well done. I'm saying that. I just couldn't love it. I just couldn't. There was too many parts in it that were too slow for me, and
that makes me a little sad.
I know
it's so good.
I know. Well, there'll be one in here that I'm sure we're both gonna agree on. So
you figure?
Maybe.
I'm not, because I thought, well, if we're going to agree on anything, we're going to agree on the one that's like the super duper mondo. That's definitely probably in the top 3 of my best movies a year at the end of the year.
Well,
I guarantee this is going to be in my top 3. I mean, I don't know how you can budge it out. I mean, Vitalina Varela, I guess I'm going to consider seeing it this year, and that'll be like 1 or 2.
Yeah.
And right now, this is 1 or 2, and I guess this would be 2 right now, but I don't see it fallen. But there's a lot of year to go, and maybe some movies will actually
Bill
come
and
out
Ted
in the
are
theaters.
coming out very soon.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to hold my breath.
And
movie release dates don't mean anything right now.
Peninsula's coming out.
That's the word on the street.
Yep. All right, well,
from there we go to
Spelling the Dream. Yeah, so I thought you would like this more. Or, as they call it in the movie, the Indian Super Bowl. This is off of Netflix, and actually our other one was off of Prime, right?
It was, yeah.
The
We should have
Bastard
mentioned
Night was
that.
on Prime, yeah. So you can
Bastard
actually
Night was on Prime.
First of all, Daddy Like. I did like this. Spelling Bee movie started an 11 for me right off the bat. You had me at documentary about
Spelling Bee
scripts.
movies start at an 11 for you.
You had me at script Spelling Bee.
That's the silliest thing that's ever been said. Actually, you know what? Anytime you say something starts at 11 for you, it's the silliest thing that's ever been said. So whatever.
Well, or maybe the second most or third
That's
most.
Jim for you. Okay. Sorry I interrupted.
Indian Heritage owns this competition, first off. So I thought...
Absolutely, which was cool.
I liked the fact that they basically took what was Spellbound and just put the focus on, okay, this is a very kind of a props up to our friends from India. So Spellbound, in case you forgot, was my 5th favorite documentary of all time.
I knew it was on your top 10.
Yep, number 5.
Nice.
Interesting to see the difference in the different competitors. The one guy was kind of like a Spelling Bee serial killer in the making. Like, he just had no emotion whatsoever. It was just like, this guy's gonna either kill the other competitor. He's gonna Tanya Harding some of these other Spelling Bee kids.
Tanya Harding.
Basically, soulless emotional shell of a speller. Also reminded me of how great the movie Bad Words was. Mm-hmm. And actually now watching this in hindsight, when we saw Bad Words, because if you remember Bad Words, for people who are listening, if you haven't seen that, it's also a spelling movie.
It is,
and it's freaking
great.
awesome.
It's so good.
And
one of the kids in this actually reminded me a lot of the kids from Bad Words.
Yes, I know the one you're talking about. Akash was his name, was the most adorable kid in any spelling movie or otherwise. This kid I want to keep in my pocket and take him with me everywhere.
He was pretty awesome.
He was so adorable. He's like 6 years old. He's just so brilliant. The kid, I love the, because we've talked about this many, many times. I am not a fan of sports, yet this is shown on TSN. So I guess I could say sports movies that are actual spelling movies are actually not so bad.
It's not a sport.
So the other one about the young lady who loved Wikipedia, like it was her passion. I'm just like, you go, girl. Like, just get in there and look up shit on Wikipedia. That was like her spare time habit between spelling. And I think to sum up this movie, I want to say Huma Huma Kuna Kupawa, which was the last word that Akash spelled before the movie ended. And that pretty much says it all. To me, this was a mondo. I loved it.
All right. Well, yeah, I found myself comparing this to Spellbound, which is sort of the kiss of death to a movie before it even starts. I mean, I don't think it measured up to Spellbound.
No, it didn't.
But once I stopped the shooting for all 4 of the primary youngsters we follow in the film, I felt their disappointment when they were eliminated from competition.
You know, it was so
my heart broke a little, especially that one cried in Mom's arms. Oh my God, dude, I feel it. Sorry, dude. I enjoyed every frame of this film. No, it's not as good as Spellbound, but I still enjoyed the journey a lot. And I actually forgot that I'm giving it a lukewarm mondo.
All right, it made it to mondo.
It is a mondo.
All right, so good. We're both in the same camp there. See, I knew we would hit the same buttons today on a couple things.
All right.
But yeah, so the funny thing though, right? Like, you don't need this. One of those things, especially with everything that's going on with Black Lives Matter right now, and all the things that are going on in the world. And you see a movie like this, and you're just like, yeah, you know what? It's cool to root for these Indian kids. They said this was from the 2017 scripts, right? I think that's what they said for this.
So.
And in the last, 50 kids, there was like 27 that were Indian kids.
Yeah, no, they're dominant.
And how I like the way they brought it out. Everything about this movie was really well done, and really good props to the Indian culture in the U.S. So kudos. Everybody should see it. Spelling the Dream. It's on Netflix. Get on it. Get on it.
And also on Netflix
is
The Night Clerk 2020.
yes.
Yeah.
Tell me more. Tell me more.
Well, yeah. It's a movie about a young man with Asperger's syndrome who is the night clerk at a hotel. Oh yeah, and he's also a voyeur. And he falls for one of the guests, who conveniently also has a brother on the autism spectrum. Honestly, I was intrigued for the first 20 minutes, slightly annoyed in the following 20 minutes, and then the last half of the film had me questioning, why did this movie not go through a few more rewrites before making it to my screen? It had potential, but that potential was never even close to realized. The convenient crutches the script uses to have this story limp along seemed rather lazy to me. The performances were uneven, and I am sorry. If you have John Leguizamo in your movie, you should bloody well use him to his full potential. Overall, this movie was a massive failure on so many levels that it more than earned my rating, which is rage.
Nicely said. Yeah. See, I knew we would agree on on another one. Helen Hunt again. So
Yes.
yeah, so we've seen 2 of Helen Hunt lately. Now, I've always been a fan of hers, and I'm not going to give anything too much away, but my rage this week is a little bit motivated by Helen Hunt in sort of an offhanded kind of way. I couldn't get past the fact that the script just seems so similar to so many other things, and I couldn't actually believe that the main actor, who was what the hell's his name?
Ty Sheridan.
Ty Sheridan. I did not get, like, he just wasn't acting like an Asperger. Like, I wasn't getting any, like, there's
I actually had no problem with his
no,
performance.
I didn't think his performance was great. I didn't think Helen Hunt's was great. John Leguizamo
It's
could have
always
been
great.
anybody, but he wasn't great in this.
No.
He was weak.
Well, and that's what I'm saying, man. If you got John Leguizamo in your movie, use him.
Yeah, so John
What was he do? What did he have to work with?
John Leguizamo to me is mesmerizing. But in this movie, he was lost in the plot and the script.
Yeah.
I don't want to necessarily say it out loud, but I'm going to. John was subpar in this movie.
I thought he was fine.
I thought this was the worst thing I've ever seen him in.
I thought he was the best part of the movie.
He was the best part of the movie.
Which really
100%.
says how bad the movie was.
Because if he was subpar, then this movie was definitely, not that great.
It was pretty bad.
It's disappointing. So
I was really looking forward to this one. I actually, when I thought it was going to get a theatrical release at one point, and I had kind of read something about it. I saw the trailer, and then all the COVID stuff happened, and it never came out. And I was looking forward to it. And then, yeah.
And now you're glad you didn't pay $13 and $12 for popcorn to see this movie?
Indeed.
Yeah. 2 hard rages on this. This was a Helen Hunt double rage week for her.
Oh, yeah, I guess it was.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, we talked about her a couple weeks ago, and she was in a movie that was not that great.
Yeah, that was awful, too.
Yeah.
That was the frogging one, right?
Yeah. I mean, you raged on it.
I hated that movie.
I didn't hate it as much as you.
I really thought I was gonna like this one. I was actually looking forward to it, and then I watched it. And I was like, wow.
I guess you should have watched them in reverse order if you watched The Night Clerk last.
Yeah. I did.
Although this is pumping you up for a rage later on, so there we go.
There you go.
All right, well, let's talk the lists. All right, so if you got anything for me this week?
I got nothing.
Got nothing? Well, I've got some surprises. I got one that I've been holding on to for a while. So, but I'm going to talk about a couple of Mesmerized.
Okay.
So one, and actually, I was originally going to put him on Undoubted, and I'm going to butcher his name. Is Djimon or Djimon Hounsou?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. This guy is mesmerizing in everything he's been in. Like, he just captures the screen. I don't know what you think, if you would buy into it.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's been in some bad movies.
Yeah, he has. Because you know what? He's on my mesmerized list that I'm bringing forward because I was like, This guy, I love him
He's
so
got to be
much.
Undoubted, and then you look at
and then some of the movies he's been in, I was like, no, dude, how
was
did
he
you
in
choose that?
some Robin Hood thing? Or
Oh,
was
he's
I
been
don't
in
know
a
what-
bunch of shit.
Yeah,
I don't even want to pull out his list.
Yeah,
but
fair enough.
Okay, good. Well, that's
Yeah,
good.
he's mesmerized.
Yeah, for sure, man. He's just so good. And another one that has been we've talked about quite often is J.K. Simmons. He's not on our list. I thought he would be, but he's not. I mean, God, the guy's brilliant.
He is brilliant.
But he's been in a lot of shit too, so he's
Yeah.
another one that's never going to make the Undoubted. He just keeps getting paid for stuff.
I gotta. What other person wins an Academy Award and then ends up in insurance commercials the next year?
Yeah, like that's
How is
just,
that? Like, what the hell happened there? Did he sign this contract before he won the Academy Award and just had to do it, or
No, I think he probably made those commercials a long time ago, and he wasn't really as popular.
because
so
he was not in those commercials?
yeah.
And then he wins the Academy Award, and then he's on my TV every freaking ad break,
know.
peddling insurance, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? How do you win an Academy Award and your reward is you're in commercials for insurance? What?
And then make some bad movies.
And then you make some bad movies.
But you know, that's funny you say that because, okay, if you were an insurance company, would you not find like some great B-list actors and make a shitload of commercials with them and pay them like basically nothing?
Yeah.
So that you can save it and pull it out later.
It's just weird. That one just baffles me. Having said that, he's even mesmerizing in those commercials.
He is. It's like I want to buy that insurance. Oh, come across the border, JK, and sell me some insurance right now.
Yeah,
All right, so we got two mesmerized.
Put them both on.
All right, well, I got one more mesmerized for you.
Holy crap, it's a triple header.
Yeah, and I've still got a whole bunch of backups in backup. But this one, because I seen him in a film that I watched the other day.
All right.
And it is Oliver Reed.
Oliver Reed. Who the hell is Oliver Reed?
Who the hell is Oliver Reed? He's been in so many things over the years. Super old dude. He's been, I'm trying to think of what he's most known for. He was in, okay, do you remember Tommy?
Tommy, yeah.
Okay, he's also in Gladiator.
Uh-huh.
He's also, I'll show you a picture of him.
Okay.
Can I recognize him?
Yes, I do.
All right, so he's in, just pulling up his known for. He's in Gladiator. He was in Tommy. He's been in a bunch of Ken Russell films, which I'm a big fan of.
Mm-hmm.
Most of his stuff is, The Devils. He was in The Devils.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever see The Devils?
No.
It's like one of my favorite Ken Russell movies of all times. His most known for, he was in Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde from 1980.
Right.
The Adventures of Baron Munchausen.
Yeah.
Gladiator, obviously. You haven't seen The Devil, so maybe you haven't seen enough of his stuff.
I don't think I've seen enough of them because a lot of those I have not seen.
Well,
he doesn't seem to be in kind of the genre of movies that I particularly pay attention to.
You need to see The Devils. If you get a chance this week, see that and tell me you don't think he's mesmerizing.
I'll do my very best
or
to see
Tommy.
The Devils.
Have you seen Tommy?
I've seen Tommy.
And you don't remember him in it? He's like,
I remember him in it.
There you go.
He's fine.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'm
if you've only
mesmerized.
seen him in one movie, you can't really judge it, I think. All right, well, he's obviously not on yet, but you're going to have to see some more of his stuff, apparently, because he's pretty damn great. All right, so I've got a choice of 3 this week. So I'm going to say...
Pick the one you think's going to actually be Undoubted.
Well, it should have to be. So I'm going to give... Okay. Well, man, I want some drama, a little bit of drama here, though. So I'm going to give you somebody I know that if he doesn't make the Undoubted, he's making the Mesmerized list because I know you love them, and it's Mads Mikkelsen.
No, he can't be Undoubted. He was in some crap.
Okay, well, let me tell you what he was in.
He was in Polar recently.
Yeah, that was Mondo.
No, Arctic was Mondo.
Polar was Mondo.
crap.
It was not crap.
Oh,
how could you say that?
Okay, give me his movies real quick.
Okay,
because I've seen them all.
Okay, Age of the Uprising.
Mondo.
Okay, The Salvation, which I haven't seen actually.
Mondo.
Okay, Men and Chicken, which is Mondo.
Mondo.
Yep. Doctor Strange.
Mondo.
Rogue One. Mondo.
Mondo.
Arctic. Mondo.
Mondo.
At Enemy's Gate, which is a meh.
I can't remember it.
It's a meh, trust me.
Okay.
And Polar. And
Rage!
It is not a. I can't believe
awful.
you. Oh, you're so dumb. That movie was great. He kicked ass and punched dicks.
Yeah, it was god awful.
Oh, you're crazy.
It was just stupid. I was like, what the hell were you doing involving yourself with this?
I loved that movie.
I hated that movie.
I loved everything about it.
That movie sucked.
Especially him.
Yeah.
He's just fantastic.
I was just so disappointed the whole way through. It's
well,
like, really?
He's
man?
now got to make 8 more movies then.
I know, that sucks. As soon as you said it, that's the first thing that popped into my head. I was like, oh, he was in that piece of crap. He can't be on this list. And that's the last thing he did, too?
That was the last thing he did.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's
all right.
he's years
so
away.
I'm going to say no to Undoubted.
He's absolutely mesmerizing.
But okay, and yes to Mesmerizing. Okay, so that went pretty quick. I'm going to give you the other one. That had better be a yes.
Okay, let's do it.
Otherwise,
It better be a yes.
It better be a yes, or I have
quit the podcast.
I quit the podcast, and you can do it by yourself. No. Okay, so every single one of his movies is a Mondo for me.
Okay, every single one.
Every single one, and that is.
This is the Wes Anderson of.
This is the Wes Anderson of Japan.
All right.
Hirokazu Koreeda.
Okay, list the movies.
2009.
I know who it is.
Yep, 2009 Air Doll. It's a Mondo.
Haven't seen it.
2011 is I Wish, which is a Mondo.
Seen it. That's Mondo.
2013 Like Father, Like Son.
That's Mondo.
It's a Mondo. Our Little Sister. It's a Mondo.
Mondo.
After the Storm. Mondo.
Mondo.
The Third Murder. Mondo.
I don't think
Shoplifters.
I've seen it. Wait a second. Third Murder. I don't think I've seen the Third
Okay.
Murder.
So I'm just going to make a mark here. You haven't seen that, and you haven't seen Air Doll?
Yeah. What was Air Doll surrounded by though?
It was before I Wish, so.
Okay.
Okay, so you got to see that. Shoplifters is a Mondo.
You
gave it a 4 out of 5, which should be a Mondo when you saw it.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
You did. You just don't want to admit it because it's one of my favorite movies. It's a Mondo. You can't even argue. And the truth was,
let's give it a tentative Mondo.
it is a Mondo. And the 2019 he did The Truth, which is also a Mondo.
That's a Mondo.
So the only two you've got to now see is The Third Murder and Air Doll. And I think Third Murder might be on Prime available for you to watch. So
I'm actually going to write this down right away.
you got a pen there?
I do have a pen.
All right.
The Third Murder?
Yep.
Or just Third Murder?
The Third Murder from 2017 and 2009's Air Doll.
Air Doll. Yeah,
And
I definitely didn't
And
see
The
Air
Third
Doll.
Murder and Air Doll just have to be missed because they're surrounded by
They're
Mondos.
surrounded by Mondos. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it.
And if you give him anything but a Mondo, I think you're crazy.
I think that
he's-
he tentatively could be on this list for sure because he's yet to make me rage. So.
And he's led to make you go, meh. I haven't heard you ever say meh from his films.
No, that's true.
Bryce, hey, perfect. Well, this was a pretty good week.
Yeah. Yeah,
Has
it
to
was.
see some shit.
I do have to see some shit.
All right, well, that's it for the list this week then.
Interesting. All right, well, that's good timing because our music is actually coming to a close.
Yeah, it was kind of almost perfectly timed.
Yes. I'm going to wait for it to fade out. There we go.
Fade out to black. All right, let's get creepy right now. All right, well, for our festivals this week, as we kind of already talked about, we watched the 13th annual Quick Draw Animation Society's 2020 Animation Lockdown Festival. This was...
Which was called
what?
Call to Adventure Edition.
Yeah, perfect, thanks. And you can... They haven't put it up live. It was an event that was live. We got to see it through Zoom. So you weren't obviously there at the party, but I've been told by the organizers that it will be available through quickdrawanimation.ca. So for everybody that's listening, it's quickdrawanimation.ca. Go check out their website. Go book time, their studios and stuff they do. This is an amazing, amazing organization. And this particular festival, they've done it obviously quite a few years. They kind of do it every year, and they usually show it in the theaters, but they had to Zoom it this year thanks to our friend COVID. And what they do,
COVID's not my friend.
my anti-friend,
COVID's a dick.
COVID's a dick. Okay, I mean to say he's the dick.
Isn't it weird that there were 19 films?
Yeah, there was 19 films. COVID-19.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're literally blowing my fucking mind right now. Where's an explosive sound? So this I want to say first off to all of every single one of the directors. So there was 19 different films. All these they're not all from Calgary either, from across the world and across Canada. This is how much this draws attention from around the world. So there's a lot of directors that made these films. They have 7 days to make these movies. And when you see some of the quality of these films, it is mind-blowing what they can put together in 7
They have
days.
Between May 20th and May 26th.
Yeah. And I don't, I'm not going to necessarily compare God when he created the earth in 7 days. But some of these animation shorts were pretty damn good. So, 7 days, this will blow your mind. There wasn't one on here that made me rage. They were all of a good quality for something that was made in 7 days. Even there's ones that some kids made, which, obviously not up to the same standards, probably some of the adults. But so Bryce, tell me what one was your favorite.
I liked most of it. My favorite by far was Shelf Life by Noah Spencer. But overall, it was a really good experience. Glad that we did this, actually.
Yeah, me too, actually. And, it's outside of our box for the most part.
Yeah.
But, we need to, in times like this, sometimes we can't find a festival that we really are. We found a couple of festivals, but this was local. Yeah. And why not support some of our local stuff?
Absolutely.
So I'm going to quickly blast through here all 19 names, and I'm going to screw up some of the pronunciations of these names. So if you're listening to us do the review here after the fact, then I apologize right now. So these are all 19. Il Falapone by Emmanuel Ho. Quit Bugging Me by Will Walton and Kim Walton. Shelf Life by Noah Spencer, as Bryce has already said. The Adventures of an Office Worker by Daniel Morrison.
Oh, yeah, I like that one too.
Yeah, there you go.
That's my number 2.
All right, okay. I Am Hungry by Anna Pinero. My Friend is a Magical Extrovert by Tiffany Sengsvan. Beacon by Mackenzie Bedford. The Call of the Rose by Joanne Fisher. House Arrest by Emily Tremblay, a.k.a. MLE. Inspiration by Norma Jean Harvey. The Caravan by Ben Thompson. Yo Woes by Molly Little. Wakaso, I'm doing a terrible job of this.
Wasakachak and the Chickadees.
Yeah, and the Chickadees by Colin Willier and Amy Willier. The Pollution Solution by the Bum Family.
By Colton Willier.
Oh, there you go. Thank you. What did I say?
I think you said Cotton or...
Cotton?
I don't know.
Cotton Ginny? No, it's Colton. Sure Sorry, Colton, buddy, if you're listening. Public Hugs by Leslie Bell. Ravenous Rat by Helen Young. There's No Guarantee, but That's Not the Point by Tank Standing Buffalo. Number 18 is Giallo? Is that how it's pronounced, you think? Hit me. Come on. Giallo? Giallo by Lucas Lyons and Nina Patifi. And the last one, but certainly not least, was Searching by Michelle Longspree.
Yeah, you really liked that one, didn't you?
Yeah. So I'll just give you my favorite 4, actually. I'm giving you 4. My favorite was actually Yo Woes. I thought it was super humorous and super fun. Searching was my second favorite, which, and I'll talk a little bit about what the juries had given some prizes out as well. Number 3 was my Friend is a Magical Extrovert, and we talked a little bit about this. I can relate to that because I'm a little bit of an extrovert myself, so I could relate to it. And number 4 for me was Shelf Life. So first of all, congratulations to all these artists. It was a great festival.
Absolutely.
And they had, I won't list down all the jury prizes. You can go to quickdrawanimation.ca to see it all. But the winner for the Audience Choice Awards was Shelf Life, which is also your favorite.
It is.
And the jury's special outstanding film that the jury had was on Searching. So all great films, all great experience. Please check out their website. And start... anyone who's listening, and we don't get a lot of communication. Sometimes we get it on Instagram and Twitter and stuff, but talk about some stuff that you guys know that's happening. If you know a festival that's coming up, before we start going back to see the movies, which is going to happen here pretty shortly, because effective in Alberta, Canada, that is, this Friday the theaters can open. So
they're not going to.
They're not going to. But our favorite cinema is going to open the beginning of July, I believe, which is an art house theater here in Calgary called the Globe Cinemas. So, yeah, if you guys got some festivals you want us to check out and tell you about them, let us know. We'll do it.
Cool.
And that's it for this one. Thanks, Quick Draw. That was a great time. For $5, you can't even buy a pack of cigarettes for that. Not that I smoke, but it's a good comparison.
What a ridiculous comparison.
You can't even buy half a pack of cigarettes for $5.
I don't.
Although you
I have no idea how much a pack of cigarettes is.
You can buy a chocolate edible from the cannabis store. Just letting people know.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, now you know. All right. Well, you know what time it is.
Temperature rising. Vision blurring. Rage taking over.
All right. Well, my rage this week, I don't want this to come off sounding either sexist or in any way, shape, or form, but one of the things...
That's a bad opening.
I know it's a bad opening, but it's often what happens is I see this. I think that people should embrace their own beauty. And I've been seeing a lot more, which is unfortunate. There's been a lot more of some of my favorite actors over the years have started getting face and body work done.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, you don't even look like yourself anymore. You look like someone completely different. And so obviously they can't be happy with some of the botched jobs that have been happening. Stick to your natural self. We love you as an actor. We love you're beautiful to us already. Don't do these things. Don't step into that world of thinking that you have to change your face. Now, I obviously, people have to do what makes them feel good. So if this is something that they're driven to because of it, but I just wanted to pulled up a list of some of the best artists, and they've made a public stance about the fact that they basically said no to plastic surgery. First one is Pink, which, I'm not necessarily a big fan of Pink, but
isn't she like 15? How old is she right now?
I don't know. She's probably 40 now.
Is she?
But here's another one that we all know, Meryl Streep. And I don't know how she hasn't had work done. She keeps looking younger every year. So she must have some really good exfoliating rubs or something. I don't know.
Some exfoliating rubs.
Amanda Peet, Julianne Moore, who I love and is aging beautifully. Mm-hmm. Halle Berry, another one that has spoken out about it.
That's a handsome lady.
Salma Hayek, also very, very handsome.
That's another handsome
and
lady.
I don't like to say her name aloud because I'm not a big fan of hers, but Julia Roberts has spoken out against it. Jodie Foster.
Cool.
Kate Winslet. Again,
yeah.
Kate, I mean, you see her, you can tell she's getting older, but she's embracing that, and we love her no matter what she's doing. And obviously one that with some of the more older actresses that we love, Emma Thompson.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she's looking her age now.
She looks fantastic.
But yeah, she looks fantastic. Like, wrinkles are sexy, man. They're not. So it kind of made me rage, and I kind of had alluded to it earlier. I don't want to point anybody out, but when someone's bad facelift work comes through, I'm sure that they must notice it also. And I kind of feel for them, because if they would just allow themselves to age naturally, it might have been better off for them anyway, right? I know that Joan Rivers, before she died, she had so many facelifts, and she was a big advocate for it.
Well, yeah, but she kind of embraced the ridiculousness of it in her comedy act.
Yeah, in her comedy act is she that she can't cry anymore and she doesn't have any emotions in her face anymore. I mean, she's hilarious, but. So that's my rage this week. Just, stay beautiful. Don't change anything about yourself.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, so I guess that brings me up, eh?
Yeah, what do you got? What's giving you rage?
What is giving me rage? Well, Jim.
Other than other Helen Hunt movies.
I'm going to tell you. Okay, my open rage is on our Rage or Dare segment.
Oh!
I do not have time to watch any more kiddie movies. I feel I need to draw a line in the sand and ban the movies that are intended for the under 12-year-old demographic. As grown adults, it seems a little silly for me to slam some movie that was not intended for me. It was intended for a child. For a child that's not even within shouting distance of my age. I feel the Rage or Dare segment should be devoted to truly awful movies. Not a truly awful genre on the whole. Yes, there are some good kid movies, but if they end up on our segment, we both know what the result will be. And while it can be amusing for the most part, watching a movie intended for kids takes away from the spirit of the Rage or Dare segment. That spirit is to challenge each other to watch truly awful cinema. And there is a uniqueness to why it is truly awful. That is not the case for children's movies. They are generally awful for the exact same reasons. Because they're made for children. And that is becoming rather derivative. I vote now to stop this madness. No more movies geared towards the under 12 crowd. What say you, Jim?
Well, I feel what you're saying, but I'm going to counter this a little bit with the fact, with the fact, it is a random play. A, and B, I'm going to say there are some kids movies that are actually good. Home Alone 1 was good.
Was it?
Yeah. I think if you watched it now, it wouldn't make you rage. It would be at least a meh.
I don't know that it would.
There's animation that we've seen that would be actually pretty good. Which are kids. It's made for kids. So, do I agree with you? I mean, if you're going to start playing out, we can't put out certain movies, then I'm going to say, I'm not watching another fucking musical. Because those
are fair game.
Fundamentally, they're already bad. So you can't, if you're going to say kids, then you're going to start going, okay, well, you can't put kids in there. You can't put musicals in there. Oh, guess what? We can't put operas in there because we already know those are going to be bad. And you can't put people from...
opera's going to be bad.
I mean, we could just have a bag of Tiffany Haddish movies.
Moulin Rouge was excellent.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
No, it was just bad, just like every other one.
No, it was good.
No.
I liked it a lot.
Okay, you did.
La La Land.
If I pulled it from the bag, it would make me rage.
Was excellent.
Okay, I'll give you that. But that's what I'm saying. You're literally answering my response because I'm saying there is some kid movies that are actually good.
Those are made for adults.
Are they?
Kiddie movies are made for kiddies.
How many 11-year-olds do you know sing La La Land?
Why am I sitting here raging about something that was made for a 6-year-old?
I don't know.
I don't know either. That's what I'm asking you.
La La Land wasn't made for 40 and 50-year-old men.
I loved it, and I'm a 45-year-old man.
There you go. You're almost proving my point.
I don't know that I am.
I'm saying certain movies, rom-coms, the whole genre to me makes me rage. And there's going to be exceptions to the rules. So if you're going to say, I'm not watching kids' movies and I'm going to pull out musicals, different. I'm going to pull out rom-coms.
No, because they're all made for adults.
No,
this is made for kids.
Rom-com. Okay, so where did the expression chick flick come from? And it's a common term. You can't say Jim just pulled that out of his ass. I'm saying it's a term people use.
It's a term people. I'm not sure what that has to do with my argument.
I'm saying that there's when they make a film, there's a set audience that they're making this for. Show tune movies are made for people who like show tunes. Kids movies are made for the adults that take their kids.
No, they're not.
And the kids.
No, they're not.
Rom-coms are not made for my passion for film. Also, musicals, which are all bad.
They're not all
with
bad.
With very rare exception. Very, very rare exception. So, I'm saying no. And I I'm not saying that you're going to get a lot of kids' movies. You may pull from the bag and get one.
I seem to be
I may pull another fucking musical. And if you can play the kid card...
tried to get me to watch 2 stinking kids' movies with your stupid Robert Rodriguez crap.
You watched Geely, though, and you like that.
Geely, I like Geely.
Yeah,
but that's because it wasn't made for someone that was 6 years old.
It was made for people who don't like good movies, is what it was made for.
No, it was made for... I didn't love Geely. I just loved I loved Christopher Walken's cameo in it that had nothing to do with anything. It was
you
great.
could have watched a commercial. You could have watched
the scenery, left, and I'm like, man, I am already satisfied with this movie.
You could have watched the trailer with his clip in it, and you would.
Then later on, I got a little Al Pacino just going off the rails, shooting people, blood everywhere. It was fantastic.
Yeah, we've already talked about this. 7 minutes of a good in a movie doesn't make a whole movie. You're literally
it did for me.
You literally said it was meh just to piss me off. You wanted to pay me back for making you watch that terrible movie.
Whatever.
So the answer's no.
You know what?
I'm pulling out
I'm pulling out all my frickin' things out of my bag, and I'm just sticking in nothing but kids movies, so that you will eventually go, all right, I agree.
You know what?
This is garbage.
When you've seen as many kids movies as I've seen musicals in that segment, then you can talk to me more about that. Okay?
Whatever.
Once you reach that number, that's what you can do.
Yeah, you still suck.
I know I do. But thank you for bringing that rage up. It was beautiful.
Yeah, whatever.
Rage subsiding. Pulse slowing. Anger fading.
Yeah,
wow.
I'm not sure my rage is subsiding.
This week on Rage or Dare, we get to hear Bryce's take on the fantastic sequel to Home Alone 2 in a film called Home Alone 3.
Wow.
Who would have thought the fantastic plot of a child barely old enough to talk with will outsmart adults again and again and again and again when they could easily go to a gun store, buy a gun, and anytime kill the little brat. Period. End of sentence. And then this week, Jim is going to have to probably choose a fucking musical out of Bryce's terrible, stinking, hairless bag. Let's tune in and find out what Bryce really thinks about Home Alone 3.
Yeah. All right. I think we know what I think about Home Alone 3 based on my rage this week. So first we got Home Alone in 1990 and then a sequel in 92, at which point I felt we'll probably never get another one of these in the series. Well, I was wrong. In 1997, a film by the name of Home Alone 3 was produced, reuniting Macaulay Culkin, Joe Pesci, and Daniel Stern for one more kick at this tired old cat. Oh, wait a minute. None of these guys are in part 3. Then why the heck was this thing made? Now, I will be the first to admit that I didn't like either of the first 2 parts. I guess that I'd have to call this a franchise because there's now been 5 of these. But I digress. As I was saying, I did not like the first 2 entries in this franchise. But they bloody well look like Gone with the Wind in comparison to this unnecessary drivel. The worst part is John Hughes actually came back to write this screenplay.
What?
Yeah. How could the man who wrote so many excellent movies in the 1980s pen this uninspired debacle? Somehow, this one, the lead character, Alex, takes on 4 or 5 super spies. I don't even know how many of them there were. They were all wearing like black turtlenecks. As he has unwittingly come into possession of a top secret computer chip. Wow, that's really intriguing stuff. So,
1997.
Yeah.
Computer chips were rare back then.
Well, there you go. I'm not going into any more detail as this movie, by definition, is formulaic. I really try to get in touch with my inner 5-year-old when I watch stuff like this, but I can say that not even 5-year-old Bryce would think this was entertaining in the least. Here are just a few of the quotes from the movie that expound on the lazy, mundane writing by John Hughes.
John motherfucking Hughes.
John Hughes wrote this. Alex slammed the toilet seat on his thing again. I believe the thing was referring to his penis. Funny stuff for a kid's movie. Here's another quote. If he scratches his chicken pox, we can call him Scarbutt. Because, you know, he had chicken pox on his butt. Hilarious. Oh, and don't forget this one. You smacked my winky. To which the response was, maybe if you changed your shorts more, you would not have rats in your drawers. That's funny stuff. This movie was another rage. Well played, Jim.
What? I'm sorry. What was a winky? Was that also another wiener?
Yeah, it was another penis joke.
So
In a kid's movie.
Did you add up how many penis jokes there was in the movie?
I think that actually I didn't, but I think those weren't the only two.
So here's the question I have for you. If we created a rage drinking game, and every time they made a joke about either A, wieners, or B, butts, would somebody be drunk by the time they got to the end of this movie?
In Home Alone 3, they probably wouldn't be drunk, but they might be tipsy.
Okay. Well, I'm so glad.
By the way, Scarlett Johansson was in this movie.
What?
Yeah, I forgot to mention that. That kind of blew my mind. I think she must have been maybe 12, 13 max. It was definitely before the Horse Whisperer.
This is kind of funny because you think about, okay, we should really go back and look at all the ones that we've gone through this Rage or Dare. Some of the older ones, like, do you remember Tim Robbins?
Yeah.
Was in Howard the Duck.
I know.
I'm like, and he was terrible in it.
I guess everybody's got to start somewhere. I guess a job is a job when you're trying to break into Hollywood.
Yeah, it's like you'd think to yourself, man, some of the best actors of our days were in some really, really bad movies. So yeah, that's kind of hilarious, actually.
All right. So from that,
now I have to make
so are you taking
decision.
Rage or Dare?
What is the highest level of chance that I'm going to get a musical?
I am just scanning my list of movies here, and it's 100% if you take.
If I take Dare? Oh, okay. Well, then I'm pulling from the sweet bag.
You don't want to watch another musical?
No, I don't want watch another fucking musical.
All right.
I hate musicals.
You still might get one, but go ahead.
That's true. Is this your sweet bag?
That's my sweet bag there.
Sweet,
See what-
shorn,
See what glorious
sweet,
movie comes out of it.
clearly plastic bag. All right. Well, people.
Stop fondling my bag and just pull something.
But your bag is so sweet to touch.
Yeah, it's true.
I have a feeling that I think I just saw this not that long ago. So
Really?
yeah. It is from 2018.
Wow, that wasn't that long ago.
No, it wasn't that long ago. So interesting that it made this sweet bag.
Well,
list.
the last one that you watched was 2018 too.
Well, you know what?
Night School.
This is the
Tiffany
great
Haddish
thing.
classic.
This is another fact that this is a double whammy for me, by the way.
All right.
Because it has two people that are on our doubted list.
Nice.
It has the fantastic writing director pair of Tyler Perry
Oh no.
and our girl Tiffany Haddish.
Nice.
So I am
It's
going
amazing
to
how much Tiffany Haddish I made it
shows
into the
up
bag.
everywhere. Like, what is it? You just pulled Tyler Perry. Okay, so
I just
if we're
basically
gonna-
pulled Tiffany Haddish up and wrote down all our movies, threw it in the bag.
Oh, okay. So if that's how we're doing, when our bag is
Nah,
empty,
I didn't do
I'm
that.
going to be going through every kids movie and throwing that in there for you.
That's not what I did.
So next week, I will be talking about Nobody's Fool, which apparently
Nice.
I can watch on Prime, so I don't even have to pay anything for
Well, that's a bummer. I always like it when you have to pay $5 or $10.
it. Yeah,
By the way, what was the cap on that? If we had to pay what?
10.
10?
No more than 10.
No more than 10.
We will
All right.
not spend more than 10. Otherwise, we got to get a new draw for the bag.
Fair enough.
So that's it for Rage or Dare this week. But before we do our closing, because I want to talk a little bit about the fact that we've kind of changed our direction in the festivals going on, and our favorite festival of all time is coming up very quickly here, and a lot of their content is going to be online. So I kind of want to give a plug for it because
Absolutely.
People who are listening from all over the world can go on their website and be able to get access to this. Obviously, certain films, I'm not sure everybody who's listening, but festivals in particular, sometimes they have geographic blockers on them. Geo-blocked. So it is June 22nd to the 28th. So
Get a VPN.
Bryce and I will be seeing every movie at the festival, and we're going to be possibly doing a daily podcast on the films we watch the day before. So be prepared for that. Our regular podcast that week will be different because we're not going to do a big one on Wednesdays. We're going to do possibly dailies if we can make it.
I can probably do it.
Yeah.
If you're in, I'm in.
I'm in. Let's do it. Let's talk the next day about each film that we saw, except for Sunday, which will maybe carry over till Wednesday and then finish off on our Wednesday podcast then.
Sounds cool.
Yeah, so everybody, please go to CalgaryUndergroundFilm.org. And you will notice June 22nd to the 28th that you will be able to see their full festival online. They're going to have some drive-ins, and it's going to be the best festival online. Also, I just want to tell everybody, number one, thank you, Ragers, for listening. You've made this such a joy for us to do, and we love it when you comment, and I'll be talking more about that later. But, and also, please tell us if you've got some festivals that you've heard about from your home city or your hometown, and they're available online. We will check them out and we will review them. So please let us know. All right, well, what do we got now? It's closing time.
It's closing time.
Well, thanks everyone for listening. Thanks for everyone getting us over 1,000 downloads. So congrats. Thanks everybody. And for tuning in. Thanks to the extended Film Rage crew of Murray, who's self-distancing. And I believe once we get back in the cinemas, we'll have our merman back. Leonard Conlon for his artistic vision, which he owes us some pictures. So, Leonard, if you're listening, come on, send us some stuff, man. Our artist, Vaughn, who is our cartoon artist. And we may be doing some more stuff with that lately, and watch for some, potentially, some merch coming up. Listen to us on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, TuneIn, Stitcher, and iHeartRadio, and finally on Spotify. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Check out our website at filmrageyyc.com.
We're everywhere.
Everywhere. You can't miss us. Just search Film Rage Podcast online, and you'll find us. We are always wanting your feedback to make this a raging blast for all listeners, so please comment. Please make us rage. That's it for this week. Rage on.
Rage on.